And this is the spiritual dimension of wellness, and I love this one so very much. And so let's just take a couple deep breaths in to just connect with our spirit, whatever that looks and feels like to you. I like to do it with some breath. So just take a breath in and just let it go. Do two more of those. So just take a really big full breath in and just let the breath go really easily. Do another one and breathe out. And just for this moment, just feel your breath. Feel how it flows in and out. Feel the steadiness, the ease of it. Feel the way it expands your body. Feel how every breath out relaxes your shoulders and your jaws. Become aware of the weight of your body on this earth. Become aware of the space that you're in, the air moving around you, the air that's moving in and out of your lungs, all of the sounds around you, and the space in between the sounds, the silent spots. And just connect with this present moment. There's nowhere else to be, nowhere to go, nothing else you need to do. Just be here right now. Take another breath in with me and let it go. I'm going to give you a little lift, get you a little higher up. So, boop. So, I like to play this game, and the game is What If? And I like to play this in regard to so many things. And I want to play this in the spiritual dimension because from what I know about energy and the quantum and the electromagnetic fields that we are and that we play in, when we open up our mind and our heart in a space of desire and curiosity, we allow ourselves to receive that in which we have asked for, or that in which we want, or that we prayed for. It's almost like cracking the code on how to get your prayers answered. Um, you know. And so the what if game for me is a really easy way. These little mosquito bites, they don't bother me until I start touching them, and then if I just don't touch them, they don't bother me. And yet, what do? I start touching them. And then I'm like, I gotta get you. Anyway, so this what if game that I love. So play along with me if you want. So, what if? What if all the stories of prophecy are getting ready to come true? What if we are at the the juncture in our life where all the stories of prophecy, whether you look at indigenous cultures, or if you look at the Bible, or if you look at the solar activity, I can't understand. Anyway, I don't know if you can hear. Um, but so if we're actually at this point where it is the end of time, which I have said before that yeah, it's totally the end of time. Not meaning that everything is going to just like be turned off like with a remote control, like done. More like it's the end of the concept of time, and we remember that we're eternal beings and we live very presently as our higher self or our future self or our ascended self, our light self, our higher self. I may have just said that. Anyway, so when we look at the cycle of the sun, it goes through 26,000 year cycles. Well, that's what time it is. It's 26,000 years. The magnetic poles of the earth shift, they flip and flop. Guess what's happening? The poles are shifting. They've been shifting a little bit. Like they're always moving because it's a magnetic pole. There's like the geographical North Pole, but then there's the magnetic pole, and that moves, and it moves all the time. And normally it moves like, I don't know, a few inches a year. But now it's a few miles in a year. So it's moving a lot faster now. That's big news. Um, when we look at um, Mayan prophecy with their calendar, or on that timeline, if you aren't looking at the Gregorian calendar, and looking at the lunar calendar. Sorry, I yawn every time I do this. I'm rested. I'm relaxed. And when we look at um, other prophecies about the eagle and the condor, when they fly together, that there will be peace on earth, that's when peoples around the world unite and love. So I see all these things like, yeah, yeah, that's happening. Yep, that's happening. Oh, yep, it's all happening. And so my what if game goes to, well, what if all that is true? And it's not like somebody just pushes stop and we're like control alt deleted, but rather we are starting a brand new life. What if we are all able to start a new life and create heaven on earth? Um, what if? Like, what would that even look like? And I have my own interpretations of it and real life examples because this is what I practice. I practice bringing heaven and earth together and sharing that in individuals' lives so that we can co-create life together. And so um just saw something that I wasn't expecting to see. It was very interesting. Anyway, um I'm so curious. It was like furniture moving, and anyway, I digress. So I have an example, and the example happened to me today. So I went down to the ocean this morning, and I was so grateful that it was a little overcast. The clouds were just like, they were out. And I was like, thanks, clouds. And um, so I went down there at like 8:30, between 8:30 and 9 a.m. And I go down there, and I keep walking down and walking down just so I can find my perfect little spot. And the ocean had come up. So the tide was going out, but it was just starting to go out. So wherever I set my little blanket and bag up, I was like sitting there. And then all of a sudden, all the water came up, and I was like, oh, so I moved all my stuff back a little bit further up toward the dune. And, and so I was sitting there, and I was like, yeah, I want to get in the water. So I started to get in the water, and um, I was not in very deep because the waves sometimes they're pretty intense. And today they weren't big, but they were very strong. The ebb of the ocean was very, very strong today. It was like flowing in. All right, but like the waves in were easy, but the pull back, I was like I gotta hold on. Anyway, so I was out there and I wasn't very deep, and I saw a couple walk by that I talked to another day, and I was like, hey, how's it going? And so anyway, before I got in, this is just a lead up to the story. Before I got in, I'm sitting there on my little towel, and a woman walked by, a Tika walked by. I wave at her because that's what I do. I wave at people. Hi, hola. And so she keeps going. And then I get in the water. I see a couple. Hey, and as I was out there, I was like, oh, you know what? I want to have a friend here with me. Like, I want to go further out into the ocean. And I feel safe to do that, but I feel safer to do that if someone else is with me. Because the it's a little strong. And um and so I was out there and I saw the Tico walk by again and I was like, "Hey." She's like, "Hey." And so she kind of like got in the water a little bit like up to her knees and I was like, "Come on." Like I waved her over to me, right? And um so she comes out and we're out there for a minute and she tells me that she has her bag, basura, um, and her towel and stuff was further down. So she was like, "I'll be back. I'm getting my bag." I was like, "Okay, cool." So while she was gone, I felt like, "Oh my God, like cool." And so I'm like in the water and like I was getting deeper and then one of the ebbs really pulled me out and I had that moment where it was like all of a sudden I was like drastically pulled out and the water got really deep and I was like, "Whoa." So I like made my way up really fast and it's like, damn. So I get out and she comes back. And so we were talking and she barely speaks any English. I barely speak any Spanish. And we are making it work. And we are like talking about school, her boyfriend. I was telling her about that I was married before and where she lives, where I've been, where I'm going. And it was really, really beautiful. And then it was getting hot and I was like, "You want to get in the water?" And she's like, "Yeah." So we go in the water and we went in further and and I had this realization of, oh my God, I asked for this. Like not even an hour ago. I literally was like, I want to have like friend just to be in the water and play with. Like just to laugh because I laugh a lot in the ocean. I get it cracks me up when a wave hits me. Like I literally like it I find it hilarious. It's just such a sensation. And so I was like, "Oh my God, that this is it. This is it." And that's what I wanted to talk about when we're in this space of just like, what if? Like, what if? Like this is what I want, but I wasn't attached to it. I wasn't like, I'm not gonna get out here unless I have a friend. And I wasn't like, why don't I have a friend? Woe is me. Or I need a friend. Let me see who I can call. Can you come over and hang out? It was more like it was like a little desire prayer that just went out that was like, man, yeah, I would love to have a friend just for funsies, for more laughter, for safety, um, and all that. And then I got exactly what I asked for. This super beautiful, kind woman that's a few years younger, um, who gave me an apple and just connected, and we got each other's phone numbers. So she's going to practice her English, and I want to practice my Spanish with her. And it's really, really kind woman that lives near Panama. And and I'm like, oh, what if this is heaven on earth, where we're doing something that we love, whatever that is, you know, and our heart goes, "Ooh, I would love to have this extra with it." Not saying that what I have is bad or not good enough, just "Ooh, this would be nice. This little bonus would be good." And then, an hour later, we get a version of it that we couldn't have imagined. We couldn't have asked for it specifically. I could not have said, I would like a woman of this background and this age and this history, blah 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 blah, or someone that I know. Or like, no, I couldn't have even asked for Adriana. I couldn't have asked for her. And it was like this miraculous encounter that she showed up and then I was like, "Hey, come on, play with me." And she was open to it, and not weirded out. And that's another thing, like when we can be our authentic selves, which is a really kind of childlike state, I think. You know, we're just being ourselves totally, vulnerably. People like to join that because we allow them to join us in that space. At least that's been my story, my case. But that to me is the what if. Like, what if this end of time, this end of the reality that we've known forever, or whatever. And what if that's the end? And what if the beginning is a reality that we we get friends, we make new friends, we meet new people, we ask for a sign and something magical happens. We ask for $100 because I really need to buy a thing, and next thing you know, we just got the thing. We didn't even need the $100, or we got the thing and the $100. We're cooking dinner and we're like, oh my God, I have so much. I would love to share this. And then, you see someone that's like, hey, I'm hungry. Or, you have a friend unexpectedly pop by and they're like, oh my God, I'm hungry and I love what you just made. Like, to me, it's this it's a space of like prayers being answered in like a perfect timeline, in a way that just makes life better. Just makes life better. Did I need to have this woman show up? No. Was I not going to have fun if she didn't show up? No. But everything about it just made it better. And my little 1 hour visit to the beach turned into 3 hours. And I didn't even get sunburned. You can't even tell because the sun is doing the thing and it looks like I'm like half glowy, but like, oh God, no, I'm all glowing. I mean, you can tell that I got some sun here, and I mean, I melanate, but like, it's out there for 3 hours, and I don't use sunscreen. I was like, this is cool. It was like everything just worked out. Like my hair still looks good, y'all. Like, what is this? And so to me, this is what the heaven on earth is all about. It's living so fully in our present moments and kind of putting ourselves out there and putting out the ask. You know, last expansions I talked about blessings and comparing it with privilege. And, it's kind of like if I don't ask, then how could I ever receive anything? And we're made to receive, so but we got to ask. And if I don't think I'm worthy of receiving or whatever, then I'm not going to ask. But if it's just like just ask for what you want, and if it's your heart asking and you don't have beliefs around like, but I'm not worthy, or but I'm afraid, if your heart is like, I want to be in a relationship, but your mind is like, but I'm afraid. The last one sucked. Or you're holding on to a story that diminishes that heart calling for like a relationship or whatever, right? You're holding on to the story of, I need to be able to bench press 587 pounds before I can be in a relationship. Well, then you're not going to be in a relationship, you know? But anyway, but what if this heaven on earth timeline is really, it's not a hard stop and a new start. It's just a gradual increase of heaven and heavenly experiences here on earth. And what is a heaven or a heavenly experience? To me, it's an experience that's like, wow, that's amazing. This feels good. What a gift. What a blessing. This feels like love. Oh my God. This brought more joy into my life. This expanded my energy field. I have so much gratitude for this. That feeling, that reality of that living and that embodiment of that is heaven on earth to me. Like that's just what it is. You see me keep looking, y'all. It's itching. You can't see it. You can't see the bites because they're in the tattoo, but there's one there, one there, 1, 2, 3. There's one there. Yeah. And then I had one on my elbow somewhere. Right there. Yeah, right there. Clustered. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Um, so yeah, heaven on earth. What if that's all we have to do? Is just ask for what we want and not be attached and trust that if we're supposed to get it, we will. And then it turns into this like magnificent blessing, you know? And then if that's the case, then all the prophecies of like, okay, well, then people would be coming together and there would be peace on earth. Oh, yeah. Yes, that would be a truth, right? Like, because in the case of me today, I was like, you know, I want to have a friend. Well, look, I made one. Look at that. You know, and so she and I had this little like energy connection. So she left more high vibe. I left more high vibe. Wherever she goes back to her boyfriend, she's taking that high vibe energy there. I brought it here where I'm staying. So we literally are bringing forth codes of the new earth, which is like love and acceptance, compassion, and creativity. We took these codes with us and we're anchoring them into wherever we go. So we're doing the grid work. That's what that is. Um, so imagine that being you, that like you have a day where you are just feeling grateful and you're enjoying your day and you get a surprise, a blessing. You realize you're like, "Oh my God, I asked for this and I just got it. Sweet." And you hold that gratitude and that awareness of like, "Oh my God, what a dope gift." What? And you hold that feeling with you when like for the rest of your day. Imagine that everywhere you go that day or everyone you talk to that day, that you're like dropping little like cosmic love nuggets, like little love turds everywhere you go. And those little love turds or love seeds, that sounds much better. So you drop these little seeds of love everywhere you go and trusting that they're going to sprout some beautiful fruit or flower for someone else. Yes. And then that's heaven on earth. Um, that's another way that we'll live very presently and in the moment. Because if I'm holding gratitude for my experience that I had this morning, right, meeting this woman, I'm not sitting here just thinking about it and not doing anything. I'm doing other things still. And I'm feeling like, "Oh my God, what a cool day." Like, and I'm getting to do this and I'm getting ready to go do something after this. And I'll hold that with me. So then I'm living really presently. I'm really present, meaning like I'm in the space of gratitude. And if I'm in the space of gratitude for what's already happened and I can still feel it now, then I'm carrying with me now the feeling of gratitude, which is going to increase things I'm grateful for now. So like I'm grateful that the sun is setting. I'm grateful that I'm choosing to do this at this time because the sun is right here and I'm grateful that I'm just right here in alignment with the curtain and I'm really grateful that I got to see, whatever just happened out there and the furniture moving and new people and just all the different things that I saw in like 20 seconds. It was amazing. Um Seeing this a human sitting out at the pool that I haven't seen. I'm guessing he's new. True though. Um, so yeah, my invitation, I guess, for all of us is to open up to the possibility of what if. What if I can get what I ask for? What if this is the beginning of something new? What if everything in my life is about to change and the way I can navigate that is to be in gratitude or to ask for what I want, to pray, to live in love, to trust that peace on earth is here and it's through me that it's going to be seen and felt and experienced and shared. You know, I talk to people sometimes, I don't, not very often, but there are a couple of people that are like kind of grumble butts and they're like, "Oh, the world is shit. There's never going to be peace on earth. Everybody's fighting." And I'm like, so that is a reality. There is a reality that people fight and they war. Yes. And there's also a reality where people are connecting and coming together in community and singing and playing and dancing. I think playing is Hugares. I learned that one today. Anyway, um, and and if I'm wrong, please let me know. Like, put it in the comments. Like, Hugares means this, not play. Play means play is this in Espanol. Anyway, um, but like, it's the things that we focus on that we get more of. And so if we trust that heaven on earth is here, that the end of the Bible, that we might be playing out the story of Revelation where it's basically all the things that you see in the news. Like that's literally what's happening. It looks like the story of Revelation in the Bible, and y'all know I haven't read it, but from what I've heard, we're basically playing out that last chapter in the Bible. So, well, if that's the case, then do I want to focus only on that last chapter? Or am I going to be like, okay, I know that's a chapter. I can see that that's the last chapter. I can watch it happen. And I'm going to create the next book. It's going to be called My Life. And the next book is going to be Heaven on Earth, damn it. The next book is going to be called Peace and Harmony. The next book is going to be called Jane Has a Life of Joy, or whatever. So to me, this what if in the spiritual world, in the spiritual dimension of wellness, is opening up to the possibility that we can have an amazing life still, no matter where we are in our path, no matter what choices we've made. I got to thinking today, like, and I think about this a good little bit, but today it came through. Like, everything has gotten me to where I am. The assholes, the turd burglars, the jerks, and every single helping hand, and everything in between. It's all gotten me here. So I can just look back at my past in gratitude for everything I've ever done and experienced. Like, okay, I'm grateful. Now what? I can look back at that as long as I want. But at what point am I going to choose to focus on this present moment and be open and curious to what's coming next? Let our heart and our mind focus on the now and the future, the now and the future. Trusting that we're not ignoring the past, we're not like bypassing the healing that we can do from that. That's very important, right? Because if we don't heal the past, trust that your children will do that for you or the next generations. That's a lot of work. I've been doing a lot of it myself, and I'm sure many of you have too. But like really focusing on, wow, this now is exactly as it's supposed to be. What else could I ask for? Like if this could be more perfect, what would it be? Well, I would have a cup of water, or I would have a friend to share it with. I would have a hug today. I would yawn yet again. And I've noticed though, and then I'll share this and then I'll close this, but what I've noticed is when we're in that space of like, what else would make this better? Saying the things like, well, if I didn't have this, doesn't work, right? So like if I said, um, if I didn't have these mosquito bites on my arm, this would be better. It doesn't work like that. It really doesn't. But if I focused on this now is so good, what would make it better when my mosquito bites are healed? So it's like the healing, it's like now and future. But if I didn't have them, that's like me going to the past and erasing what happened, and that's not possible. So it's using this law of time, space, and the quantum to create and manifest heaven on earth, which we have, we can do that. We have, we are very capable of doing that. And I got to experience a version of that today with Adriana and um, the playing in the ocean, you know, letting the waves hit us and carry us up and carry us out, and me not feel like, oh shit, I could die because I'm out here by myself. I just wouldn't have gone out as far, so I got to be more bold and stuff. So create your life however you want. And an invitation is to see if you can create heaven on earth. See if you can make all the stories of prophecy come true in your favor and in favor of life on earth. Why not? Why not try it, right? Like, why not give it a whirl? So, anyway, it's so funny, y'all. So, I have on my screen, I have like a couple little things on my screen. I just need to wipe it off, but I always forget. And so, when I'm smiling, it looks like I have this like really big thing in my teeth, and then I move like that, and I'm like, nope, I don't. Nope, I do. Nope, it's funny. Anyway, These are the things that crack me up. So enjoy creating heaven on earth. Play with it. Play with the what if. Play with the what if I'm creating heaven on earth right now. What if it's up to me to create it and that it's not some thing outside of myself? How would I create it? What would I do? What would my role be? Play with that. Anyway, until next time, my friends, I love you. Take care of yourselves and each other.